Accurate, fast, and fair. This is News 5 Today.
This might be really bad. We've got to go, bro.
Flash flooding in southern Colorado in Black Forest. Water rushing down roads after heavy rains last night. Vollmer and Shute had major flooding in the Burn area. In eastern El Paso County, school delays as people wait to see what the water's left behind there. Welcome back, 5 a.m. on this Friday, August 23rd. I'm Adam Atchison.
And I'm Nicole Vandeputty. And that intense hail video you saw came from Divide. A lot of flooding in Green Mountain Falls and Woodland Park near the Safeway there. This is that hail once again from Divide. You can see an incredible amount dropped. And that is not even including the rain that fell that caused major flooding, damages to businesses, bridges in Green Mountain Falls. And we also have video that we're going to be showing you a little bit later of Woodland Park.
Take a look at this. This was taken by Dave along Highway 24. You can see how thick the hail was on the ground there. Gives you a good picture of what the storm was dropping. And this beautiful photo from Larry, beautiful but dangerous, lightning strikes all across the sky in Colorado Springs. We saw major lightning throughout the viewing area. Andrea captured a shot in Pueblo, where we also saw some flooding, especially in the eastern part of the county near Boone.
Yeah, Highway 50 was shut down overnight near Boone. It has since reopened, and we have team coverage this morning following the damage across southern Colorado caused by this flooding. We're going to let you know when more rain is headed our way from Stephen. Maddie Garrett, she is standing by in Green Mountain Falls that seems to have really borne the brunt of this storm. First, let's head over to Stephen Bowers.
Well, Nicole, Adam, I think the important thing to mention about this morning is that the rain is gone. We had a little bit of a downslope wind. Remember, downslope wind dries the air out. It forced a lot of the cloud cover to evaporate, so we lost the rain. So First Alert 5 live Doppler radar, nowhere nearly as active as it was just a little bit earlier. And I suspect the rest of the day is going to be dry, aside from a stray thunderstorm, especially in the mountains west of 25. Our rainfall totals, look at this. The greens are where we had a lot of rain. The reds, the yellows, and the oranges are where we had really high amounts of rain. In fact, some areas have seen 6 to 7 inches, and I'll highlight some of these areas coming up in the full forecast coming up in just a few minutes. But I do want to mention today's high temperatures. They're going to be in the 80s in most areas. Some lower 90s, low to middle 90s are in the forecast along the Arkansas River Valley, especially from I-25 east. So I'll be back in just a few minutes to talk a little bit more about these rainfall totals. Adam, Nicole?
All right, Stephen, thanks. And there has been major flooding in Green Mountain Falls, as we've said.
There's a video to show you from Mike sent in. Crews are just waking to see the extent of the damage. We've been told by firefighters there may be bridge damage in that area, and several homes and businesses have flooded. A crew there live this morning to bring you the very latest.
So let's head out now to Maddie Garrett. And Maddie, what are you seeing as the sun starts to come up this morning?
Right, well, the sun is not up yet at all. It's still very dark out here, but we are here on El Paso Avenue here in Green Mountain Falls, and that bridge damage that you're talking about, it's right here behind us. Take a look. This is a bridge right on the edge near Pass Avenue. You can see that it was washed out here. It looks like they might have actually put some dirt here in this area, but you can see how the metal siding is exposed. Let's show you some video as well of this damage. Now, the water right now is pretty low, but last night it was flowing very strong. You can see just exactly how forceful those floodwaters were. We also know of another bridge that has a sinkhole literally right in the middle of the bridge. They're going to be coming out, assessing the damage, trying to get these bridges fixed because they had to close this road on both ends because of this damage. Also, there's a culvert about a mile west of where we are, and that culvert washed out. It's near a couple of homes on the other side of Fountain Creek there. We haven't had a chance to find out if there's any damage to those homes because of that washed out culvert. That's something, again, as the sun comes up and as emergency crews are able to get out here and take a look at just what they're dealing with as they go into this Friday, because there's going to be a lot of cleanup that they're going to have to be doing out here as well. Now, if you can come back to me, we want to show you that there is also a lot of debris piled up here along the bridge. That just goes to show where this water was flowing compared to now. Right now the water is very low in Fountain Creek, but look at all of the debris that is piled up here along the side of the road. We've got large pieces of wood and tree limbs also in this area. So we're going to be out here monitoring the situation for you throughout the morning. Live in Green Mountain Falls, Maddie Garrett, News 5.
Maddie, thanks. 5:05. We want to show you this video so that you can see just how much water came through Manitou Springs. Rainwater from Chipeta Park and areas west made its way downstream into Manitou last night. This is Fountain Creek. Some areas saw anywhere from 2 to 5 inches of rain over the course of just a couple of hours.
And for fears of flooding, Highway 24 was closed for some time yesterday. It opened shortly before midnight last night, so it is open this morning. We also know Highway 50 is now back open after closing through most of the night because of floodwaters near Boone. We also have 2 school closures to tell you about this morning. James Madison Charter Academy is closed today for building repairs because of this flooding. Also, Hanover School District 28 will be on a 2-hour delay. This is to allow time to determine if the roads there are passable this morning.
We need to find out from Stephen Bowers what not only the aftermath of the storm looks like, but what we're going to face for today. This is a lot of rain in a very short amount of time, and I would say it seems like it's been the most in quite a while.
Well, that's true, and we're going to see, again, the potential for a stray thunderstorm this afternoon, but most of us are going to be quiet. Here's First Alert 5 live Doppler radar showing nada at this point. It was quite active, though, around El Paso and Pueblo counties, especially a little bit earlier, even up into Teller County, and our rainfall totals have been impressive. These are radar estimated rainfall totals, and some of the heaviest totals have been in southeastern parts of El Paso County, especially to the east of Fountain. And here's the view right now where we've had accumulation in that red area there of around 6 inches. Some areas actually saw just a little bit more than that. You get up to the north side of Colorado Springs, almost 4 inches of rain fell. You get into the northwest part of the county, almost 5 inches, between 4.5 and 5 inches, in fact. We shift our attention down to the south, and there's a lot of rain that fell in eastern Pueblo County as well, especially over toward Boone along Highway 50, where 4.5 inches of rain fell. A little bit closer to a quarter inch, a little bit over that around Pueblo in the city itself, and down to the southwest corner, almost 2 inches of rain fell across that area. So temperature-wise, we're cooling off, especially up to the north where temperatures are now in the 50s. 60s are the rule from the Arkansas River south, though Walsenburg and Trinidad are in the upper 50s at this point. And our hour-by-hour forecast dries us out throughout the day. There are going to be some lingering clouds this morning. By lunchtime, we're starting to see those clouds thin out, and the temperatures are warming into the 80s in most locations. Around Colorado Springs, it's upper 70s, but 80s and 90s are going to be our highs today, and we'll see some sun and probably not so much in the way of rain, though again, a stray thunderstorm cannot be ruled out late this afternoon and early this evening. And that's true tomorrow and Sunday too, as our high temperatures warm into the upper 80s. We'll stay there for Monday, creep up into the lower 90s potentially on Tuesday. And then in Pueblo, it's middle 90s through the weekend, upper 90s on Monday, and generally staying dry. Can't rule out a stray upslope shower around Canyon City as we warm into the lower 90s this weekend. And in Teller County, we're generally looking at 70s with, again, those stray upslope afternoon thunderstorms. It's time now for traffic, and we focused on the Colorado Springs area a little bit earlier. Let's take you down to Highway 50 where traffic is flowing smoothly. The little bit that there is this morning down around Canyon City, Florence, and Penrose. Highway 115 is a smooth drive this morning too. If you're headed from Canyon City east to Pueblo, that's a 36-minute commute along 50. And remember, I-25 is down to 1 lane, both north and southbound on the 29th Street Bridge. That is exit 100B. The 29th Street Bridge itself is under construction, and you're looking at a 37-minute commute time north from Pueblo to Colorado Springs. And once again, Colorado Springs looking okay with an 18-minute drive time up to Monument. From near the downtown area and continuing north is an additional 35 minutes to Denver. Nicole, Adam?
Well, it looked like winter in areas around Denver as rain and hail pounded the area.
You get this, some areas received as much as 6 inches of hail. Megan Fitzgerald reports.
It may still be summer, but from afar, it's kind of hard to tell in the Ken Carroll neighborhood.
I would definitely say it looks a lot like winter in the middle of August.
At around 6 o'clock, rain and hail pounded parts of Littleton, flooding the area with nearly 4 feet of water in some places.
This is amazing.
And leaving behind nearly 6 inches of hail on Chatfield Avenue.
It's super cold.
If you ask the kids, they'll tell you it's a great time.
I have hail in my shoes. I'm excited. It's fun in snow.
Just started coming down.
But if you ask folks like Brendan Jackson, he'll tell you something else.
All of a sudden my car just started getting washed away, water flying up over the hood, coming up to my windshield.
Jackson got stuck in a flash flood and then buried in hail.
As you can see, a lot of hail obviously rushed in there. It's just freaky, it's weird.
So needless to say, he's not loving it.
I think he's mad about it too, because like his car is stuck, like totally stuck.
But at least for a few minutes, the kids got a chance to enjoy a random blast. of what looks like winter.
I haven't seen anything piled up like this.
That is incredible. That is not snow, folks. And this is video from Castle Pines, just south of Littleton. It really does look like snow on those golf courses there. That's just several inches, though, of hail. No word yet on how much damage that may have done in those areas.
Oh, the flooding isn't just here in Colorado. Look at this. This is video from China, where more than 100 people have died in floodwaters. Submerged buildings, entire villages are underwater. The flooding was sparked by days of torrential rain. Boy.
It's everywhere.
Yeah, it sure is. 5:10. Are you worried about your teens when it comes to apps and privacy? We have some good news for you coming up later in the show.
But first, we're going to take a look at Lyme disease, find out why it sometimes goes undiagnosed in your healthy family. Welcome back. Lyme disease is on the rise. It's a bacterial infection you can get through tick bites. And in today's Your Healthy Family, experts say many of these cases go unreported because some people don't know they have that disease. It usually starts when someone is unknowingly bit by a tick carrying Lyme disease. Symptoms can start out like stomach flu and can cause lasting migraines. Some people even resign from work because they're barely able to get out of bed. But once people are diagnosed, they can immediately start treatment, including antibiotics, and they usually start seeing improvements.
I'm not a hiker, I'm not a hunter or anything like that, and it happened to me, so it can happen to anybody.
It's essential to be aware of this condition.
Now, symptoms typically start a week or two after the tick bite and may include a rash around the bite with flu-like symptoms. Now, always use insect repellent containing DEET, wear protective clothing in the woods, and remember to always check for ticks. You can always find this story and others like it on KOAA.com. Just click on the Health tab and scroll to Your Healthy Family. The big thing that we're talking about today is weather. A lot of flash flooding across southern Colorado last evening. And Stephen, I think everyone's hoping that the rains stay clear for today.
I think we're going to look a whole lot better today, Nicole. And that rain was extremely heavy at times in Colorado Springs. Just in the matter of, say, 6 or 7 hours or so, more than 2 inches of rain fell, and more than half of that actually fell in just 1 hour. In Pueblo, it was just a little bit over, right about 2/3 of an inch, in fact. And again, this heavy rain contributed to flash flooding. The good news, though, is the rain is gone at this point. First Alert 5 live Doppler radar is nice and quiet, where it was so active just a short time ago. As little as 2 hours ago, in fact. And now we're starting to cool off, especially on the north side of the area. We have 56 degrees right now at Briargate and also at northeast Colorado Springs, 54 at Glendale, slightly warmer down to the south, 60 right now at the airport in Colorado Springs. We also have 60 degrees being reported at Fountain. Still some more 60s right along the Arkansas River, but as cool as 56 degrees in Walsenburg this morning, and in Lamar, the temperature is actually in the upper 60s, close to 70. Now, we still have a lot of cloud cover around, but these clouds are going to go away as well, and the water vapor really gives us a good idea of what's going on. You see the bright burst of white right here on top of us, and then down to the south, things are clear, and you notice there's a little bit of a northward push here, and this batch of dry air that's down to the south is making some northward progress, and it's going to help to prevent showers and thunderstorms from developing, certainly widespread showers and thunderstorms from developing this afternoon. That's element number one that's going to keep us dry. This high pressure that's to the north settled down to the south behind a cold front yesterday, and that's the troublemaker because you have a clockwise wind that blows around high pressure. So to the south of this, we had a strong upslope breeze that was taking a lot of humidity off the plains and blowing it right against the mountains, and that really helped to generate that rain. But this high pressure drops even more to the south today. It's going to help to choke off the rain. In fact, it's going to set up a downslope wind coming off the mountains, and that's going to keep us dry throughout the day, aside from some stray thunderstorms way up in the high country. Tomorrow, again, it's the same story with some stray thunderstorms way up high, but down along I-25, I think we're going to stay quiet. We're going to be warm today, too. Not quite as warm as yesterday, with highs near 85 in Colorado Springs today, 83 at the Air Force Academy, and 86 at Fort Carson. Down around Pueblo, we expect high temperatures today of around 94, with 91 at Pueblo West and more of those middle and upper 90s out into the southeastern plains. Let's check out traffic now. And Highway 24 was closed for a period last night, but it's looking much better at this point and is open, we're told at the time. 23 minutes is the drive time expected from Woodland Park into Colorado Springs. If you do see standing water on the roadways, though, do not go through it. Turn around and go the other way. Find an alternate route. Around Colorado Springs, most roads are looking clear this morning. Down around Pueblo, the same story is true, though I-25 could get a little slow going thanks to construction on the 29th Street Bridge at exit 100B. That could slow you down just a little bit later on this morning. Adam, Nicole?
All right, Stephen, thanks. It is almost 5:18 for you on this Friday morning, and going back to school, it can be a challenge. Imagine living almost a decade before entering 5th grade.
Wow, and how do gas prices affect your thoughts on the economy? We'll tell you what most Americans think coming up next in Consumer News. All right, 5:20, welcome back to News 5 today. As we prepare to head into fall, a new survey confirms that gas prices play a major role in consumer sentiment. That tops our look at Consumer News this morning. More than 50% of consumers say they're pessimistic about the economy, triggered mainly by rising gas prices. That's according to the latest monthly fuel survey from the National Association of Convenience Stores. If there is a silver lining, consumers don't expect prices to climb much higher in the coming months. If you feel like you're working more but earning less money, it's probably because you are. According to an analysis from the Census Bureau, the report reveals the average American household income has fallen more than 4% over the last 4 years. In June 2013, the median income for a household was approximately $52,000. Book prices are soaring, and college students are finding new ways to obtain course materials without having to take a chunk out of their pocketbook. Most of them are now trying to download material or photocopy pages from another student's book. According to a report by the Government Accountability Office, the cost of textbooks has jumped 82% over the past decade. The parents may be relieved now to find out that a new survey suggests teens are taking steps to protect their mobile privacy. According to a new report, teens are concerned about which apps they're downloading. Half of teen app users have avoided certain apps due to privacy concerns, and more than a quarter have uninstalled an app because they found out it was collecting personal information. Listen to this. A California man is showing that it's never too late to go back to school. The 91-year-old has just started 5th grade. He never went to school when he was young because after his father's death, he had to go to work at the age of 8. On top of studying hard, he has almost perfect attendance. Good for him. 5:22, let's go to Stephen Bowers, find out what the weather looks like today. Wild last 12 hours.
That's absolutely right. Rough weather overnight. Things are looking a whole lot better for today, though, and I'll be back with that forecast next. Good Friday, the time is 5:25, and after a rough night, things are finally looking a little bit better. First Alert 5 live Doppler radar is dry, at least for the time being. Now, we may see a stray thunderstorm rumble through this afternoon. That's especially true in the higher elevations west of 25. I suspect, though, most of us are going to be dry and we're going to be warming up beginning today, but we'll really notice that warm up during the day tomorrow. Right now, 60 at the airport in the Springs, 65 Canyon City, 63 Pueblo. Good morning to you in La Junta, checking in at 67 degrees on this Friday morning. And it's going to be, as I mentioned, an overall dry day. And one of the reasons for that is that high pressure that I mentioned about 10 minutes ago that's over the mountains. Not only has a clockwise wind that flows around it, but it also has an outward push of air from its center, and that really sets us up for an overall downslope wind throughout the day today. And in most areas, it's from the south, maybe slightly southwest. And that's going to increase throughout the afternoon. So look how windy it gets out over the plains a little bit later this afternoon. Now here's that hour-by-hour forecast, keeping most of the clouds over the mountains, and even there they're clearing up as we look ahead to midday, and our temperatures do warm mostly into the 80s, and we'll see some locations make it into the 90s along the Arkansas River a little bit later in the afternoon. So it is going to be warmer today, even warmer still tomorrow, and I'm still a little hesitant to completely remove the chance for rain through the weekend, but expect the upper 80s to continue around Colorado Springs into next week. 90s take us through the weekend and into next week for Pueblo, and it's going to stay overall dry. Again, we can't completely rule out an upslope thunderstorm or two in the late afternoons in Canyon City, as our highs through the weekend are going to be in the lower 90s, and it's 70s for you in Teller County for the next few days. And again, only a slight chance for those afternoon thunderstorms. Nicole, Adam?
All right, Stephen, we have to show you this video that we got overnight. This is from Woodland Park. Look at that water, so intense, and look, it pulls a tree down. This is behind the Safeway in Woodland Park. Some intense flooding in that area last evening. Those waters were so high, it caused damage in Green Mountain Falls. They shut down Highway 24 throughout the night because of the floodwaters from that storm yesterday.
We're following all the latest developments in this storm and its aftermath, and we'll be back right after this.